Hey there guys, so we've got a ton of Saints Row news to go through here and we're just going to hop right into it because there's quite a lot to unpack and there's something I really need to speak about and kind of put a message out there about. So, Flow is a point-based system that allows you to use your abilities in combat, with your Flow points being earned by actively being in combat, which includes the likes of dealing damage to enemies, vehicles, dodging attacks, etc. For a simplified example, killing 10 enemies and destroying 5 vehicles might grant you 15,000 damage points, which equals 1.5 Flow points, and you can use them to up your abilities. So, pretty much, the way it works is the more damage and the more points you earn in combat by doing damage allows you to get flow points, and flow points is how you use your major abilities. So we're going to talk about the abilities shortly down here, but essentially if you kill 50 enemies you will earn 50,000 flow points by doing your damage points, and that will basically allow you to use your abilities as many times as you can with those flow points that you have. So we don't know how much each ability is going to cost, but it seems like flow points will just equate to what abilities you can use at the time, which is going to be pretty cool. I like the idea that you can rack up points to use abilities. It sounds cool, and it sounds like something I'm really looking forward to using, because I like the idea of being rewarded for being good at the combat instead of just doing damage and shit like that for no real reason. Abilities is what we're going to come on to next though. The abilities are tied to your flow, with better abilities needing more flow points. So in other words, the best abilities need more damage to earn them. If you want to do more damage, then you'll get better abilities. It's as simple as that. You'll have access to abilities that are active, which means they can be used by using the button key. So basically, imagine you'll have like 4 options here, like that, like a little button prompt, and you can use some of your flow points to use whatever's on the little hotbar for your action key. And basically, if you kill enough enemies to earn flow points to use your abilities, you can click a button, and it will use just like any other thing in the game. Some abilities here are throw a grenade down the enemy's pants and throw them into enemies, causing a large explosion. We've seen this. This is where the boss tosses the enemy towards someone. A flaming uppercut to launch them into the air. I like the idea. I think we've also seen this earlier and in one of the trailers where there was a guy flying through the air and he gets shot out the air by the boss. I think we also saw that. One we haven't seen though is throw a smoke bomb down in order to lose the enemies. This will be kind of helpful if you're low on health. You can pick up to 5 individual perks, with your first perk slot being unlocked after completing the first mission, but other slots are purchased with in-game cash systems. So in other words, another place you can use your money, which I look forward to. To unlock new and different perks, players need to unlock them by completing challenges, missions, and side missions. So there you go. Side missions and missions are confirmed. So the more exploring and completing challenges you do, the better perks you'll have access to. Awesome. I like the idea of being rewarded for doing challenges and side missions instead of them just being extra content you do when you've done the main story. These perks can be broken up into 3 categories: basic, advanced, and ultimate. These kind of speak for themselves. These are more basic ones, these are slightly more helpful ones, more advantages, and this is your fucking insane ones. Executions. Execution is Saints Row's health-based system. This is the one I need to speak about because this is something that scares me a lot. Where players can only gain more health by getting kills and dealing damage. Look, I've played Saints Row for many years. One thing I could never stand in Saints Row 4 was its health regen system, where you had to go over and pick up the little health things to regain health. And this is even worse than that. I'm sorry, I love this game, and I'm trying to be as optimistic as I can, but this worries me a little, okay? It's something that can be easily fixed by just adding basic health regen, so it's not a big issue, but this is a small complaint I've got with this here. Only gaining health by getting kills and dealing damage ruins it, because say I'm in a gunfight and I shoot 15 guys but do some damage, but I kill everyone I need to, I have then got to go and find another fight to gain back health, and I could lose more health in that, and it goes around to this thing where you're just trying to gain a decent-ish amount of health before your next mission, and I don't like the idea of that. I don't want to have to go and find enemies just so I can regen, because say if I kill 5 guys and I'm at 25% health, I've now got to go and find and take out some more guys to gain just enough health to continue doing what I was already doing before. The beauty of health regen is it doesn't distract you from the game. You can run away, you can regen your health, and I don't mind the game being hard, and I don't mind this system being in play as long as there is an option to opt out of it. For example, if in Saints Row 3 you have casual, normal, hardcore, for this game they could very simply go casual, normal, hardcore, execution mode. That sounds awesome. I would be 100% on board for having an extra challenge mode to do it. But I do not like the idea that I can only gain health by killing at people and dealing damage, because it kind of just ruins the free roam as well. Because if I want to dick about and I get hurt in a car or something, I've then got to go and distract myself from the gameplay I want to do just to go and kill people. And it's kind of... it would just kind of get a bit annoying and kind of something I want to not be there. So all I ask is that this gets moved either into an option somewhere or as a little difficulty tab, and I really beg that this is not the base level thing and the only way we can play the game, because I understand these people take their time making these things, but I feel like a lot of people will be upset with this, and for me, I am not a fan of this idea personally. And I've been completely on board with nearly every decision the reboot has taken, but this worries me a little. Customization, there's not really too much to talk about with it, let's be honest. There's a big trailer. If you want to learn about customization, go watch those. Fast travel, Saints Row brings in a new fast travel system where you can travel to places around the city without having to drive for miles. I like this. I think we had stuff like this in GTA 5 where you got in a taxi and you could go. I like the idea of this. New fast travel locations are unlocked by taking pictures of nearby landmarks. So in other words, the landmark system will work as a fast travel system. Something I'm completely on board with. Collectibles and dumpster diving. Collectibles make a return in Saints Row. Brilliant, but not like blow-up dolls. Also brilliant. From Saints Row 3. Instead, collectibles in this time are in form of drug piles. I love this. Dumpsters are around the city where you'll be able to dumpster dive, and where you can find cash, new car parts. I like this. In other words, you are rewarded for exploring and doing things behind the scenes besides missions, and you can find collectibles in these dumpster diving events. It sounds absolutely awesome. Criminal Ventures, there's a whole video on it, okay? There's not really too much for me to speak about here. If you want to go watch that, go watch the Criminal Ventures. Accessibility seems to be the key focus of Volition 2. Saints Row having a lot of accessibility options to ensure that everyone can play the game. Everything from eye commands to button presses. Eye commands? That sounds awesome. To difficulty options and auto-win QTEs. So the QTEs are coming back. I don't hate them as much as other people do, but you can auto-win them, so don't worry. Unlimited time for activities to make the game acceptable. In other words, if you struggle with games and you're still, like, enjoying games, then this will essentially help you play the game easier. Multiplayer, I made a video about multiplayer. They kind of speak about it, but this is all I'm going to say. If you want to learn about the multiplayer, I have a video on it, but they also say right here, those who have played the game have expressed that it does feel like multiplayer is going to come to the game in some form in post-launch. I love that. Of course, it's difficult to base these types of details and based on blah 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 blah. Loads of rubbish, nothing we need to worry about. But in other words, they are hinting at post-launch coming out. But either way, that's everything in this thing. My only real concern, everything else sounded absolutely amazing, okay? It sounded great, but please, guys, just make this an option, okay? The whole idea is fantastic. I'm fully on board with the idea of it. I think it's very cool, but I just don't like being forced into this being the only way I can play. Now, Volition have made this game very accessible for a ton of people, as we saw down there, and I'm sure that they will give us the option. I'm sure that this is going to be a little niche feature tucked away. But if it's not, all I ask is that you at least make an option for us to disable it. It's that simple. A little tab where I just click no, and then that, my only issue with the game is gone. The rest of it, I'm completely on board with. I'm happy with nearly everything I've seen in this game, and that is the first thing that's made me go, I don't know how to feel about it. In all the recent stuff, this is the only thing that's made me a tad bit more worried. So, if Volition can kind of just make it an option, no worries about the game, I'm fully on board. But the rest of this stuff seems pretty awesome, and it's stuff that you may just want to read through yourself, as there's no point me doing any analysis, it's all just wordy. But it is all interesting stuff, and I like the combo system of, you know, being rewarded for damage, but I just don't like the idea of health being the reward for damage, because it just makes the game this kind of grindy, difficult game that I'm just personally not a fan of, and I feel like a lot of Saints Row fans will agree with me on that. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've got a new video coming out tomorrow as well, so yeah, see you soon.